Radio News Hour, Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. Man, I hope it finds you well out there. And as if the world wasn't a crazy enough place to begin with, well, it just got a little more crazy. Word breaking that Israel has launched a strike in Doha, that is Qatar, or Qatar, depending on, I don't know, whoever you're talking to, escalating the war here. Israel said it was an assassination attempt targeting Hamas members. As many as 10 blasts inside of Doha, Qatar. That definitely got the oil markets fired up a little bit today. We'll see how this plays out. We'll see what Qatar does on that, if anything. On top of that today, and we told you we're going to get jobs revisions today, and boy, was it a doozy. Wow, it's almost unbelievable. Right? How are we supposed to make decisions upon the economy and what the stock market's going to do, what rate cuts are going to be, if the data is this bad? Every year, they go back to the previous year. So this revision will be from March of 2024 to March of 2025. So pretty much the end of the Biden administration. It was the worst in history. 911,000 fewer jobs were actually added than previously reported. The largest negative payroll revisions ever. It does probably open, not probably, it opens the door now for 50 basis points, right? We needed this number for 50. We'll see what tomorrow and Thursday bring. Remember, we got PPI and CPI, and then, of course, jobless claims. So, but right now, if you're in the rate-cutting camp, you're probably celebrating the news that the federal government, apparently in this age of computers and everything else, they can't tell you how many people went to work every month, and it just tells you the birth-death model where they just do these guesses is horrendously broken when you're thinking about, we're only off by about 80,000 jobs a month. That just seems incredible. Of course, gold broke through $3,700 on that news. Now, it sold off a little bit, but gold's still up and going to be up. But it's maybe here the market saying, okay, let's establish a new higher low before we go higher. But then again, we'll see what the inflation reports bring over the next 48 hours. Our toll-free number, 800-951-0592. The website at allamericangold.com. And I'll just say this, big problems in France. Once again, the prime minister, whatever they're calling it in France, he's out again. So this is the second one. Macron's still the leader, but they just can't get anybody to get a majority. So now that Germany's got the same problem, Japan's got the same problem, France has got the same problem, and it's really started to distort the bond market. Because what's the problem? What's the problem? Well, it's simple. Nobody wants to have anybody in power that won't spend way more money than they should. That's the problem. And guess what? They don't have the money to spend. French 10-year borrowing cost exceeded those of Italy when you think about Italy, they were part of the pigs. They had, Portugal, Ireland, Italy, because pigs had two eyes in it. By the way, first time in Eurozone history, French bonds now having higher yields than Italian bonds. And Jason, this just underscores everyone's got the same problem, which is, hey, listen, we're not going to vote for anybody that isn't somehow going to give us more money. And the problem is everyone needs more money. Why? Because inflation is everywhere. Everyone's paying for it. And the realities are, like all governments, including our own, this was a 50-year cycle where, anytime there's problem, here's some more money. Here's some more money. Oh, wait, there's another problem. Here's some more money. And now all of a sudden the money's running out, and the people are like, well, then we're going to vote you out. And that's exactly what's happening. These governments, they don't control enough seats in their parliaments, and all of a sudden now you got to have new elections.
Yeah, and I don't know, will that actually change anything either?
This is it. Yeah. Well, the bond market's saying no, right? That's what it's saying. It's saying, no, that's not going to work, right? All you're trying to do is find somebody, I guess, that ultimately will say, well, the hell with it. Let's just do it anyway, right? Yeah, get ready. Yeah, wow. Get as much gold and silver as you can. I mean, it really, truly, it's insanity now. Insanity is now the new normal. 800-951-0592. Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Tuesday. It is a very, very active market today. Between what happened with Israel inside of Qatar this morning, the assassinations attempts on Hamas inside of Qatar. So I guess the ever-expanding war that is what's going on here in the Middle East, putting pressure on oil. Then, of course, we had the jobs revision. Everybody knew it was going to be bad. Just didn't see, essentially, hey, there's 1 million less jobs created than what we told everybody. It's hard to fathom. That's the best we can do. The Dow, the stock market is mixed. Right now, the Dow's up 60. Like I said, rate cut, this puts 50 basis points on the table. Will this trump the inflation reports over the next 2 days? We will see. The S&P is down fractionally. The NASDAQ's down 10. The 10-year note, interesting reaction, was down to 403. Right now, 409. As I get the feeling that the bond market is like, yeah, everyone kind of knew that number, that jobs revision number was going to suck. Let's see what tomorrow and Thursday bring. So the bond market kind of saying, not so fast. So we'll have to wait and see. Crude oil's up over $1, like I said, mostly on the heels of the strike inside Qatar. Does that change things in the Middle East? I guess it's one thing to go into Syria, one thing to go into Lebanon, totally a different to go into Yemen, right? Launch some bombs in Iran. Technically, I don't think we consider Qatar an enemy, Jason, by any means. And we'll see how the world reacts to it. Right now, gold, like I said, skyrocketed above 3,700. Saw some profit taking. Right now, though, gold's up $5, 36.43. Silver down about 40 cents. But I'll just say this. Here's the sad part. I'm out of Maple Leafs. I'm out of Silver Eagles that we had on sale. We're out of the rounds that were on sale. We have silver. It's just at regular pricing right now, but silver lease rates surging again. And I'll just say this. When we start looking at ETF demand in gold and silver, it has gone off the charts. And this is something where I think a lot of people are missing here. This is where a lot of big money goes to hide. We've talked about all the CEOs and CFOs. They're all selling. Did you see the CEO of General Motors? You know, they have to disclose, right, when they do lots of selling. Mary Barra, she sold 40% of her stock in General Motors over the last quarter. And it's funny because she never sold at the bottom, Jason, really, you know. And again, I guess do you really want your CEO selling at the bottom, right? You want them to at least be smart enough to sell at the top.
We don't know what the top really is, though. You know, we don't even really know what the top is.
Well, they do. I think they know what the top is.
You know,
right?
We're not Venezuela, but Venezuela was sanctioned and being pushed for many, many years. So when they went into their economic struggle, when the hyperinflation started to take off, their stock market went crazy. Asset prices of all kinds, including gold and silver, during a short period of about a year to year and a half, everything went berserk in price because they had this hyperinflation, Joe. There was a time, I was on the air, I was on the air with back in the earlier days that I was here, you could have bought a whole house in Venezuela with 1 ounce of gold. That's how crazy it got, because property prices were the one asset that was crashing because people were leaving the country. So, yeah, the stock market, there is artificial numbers in the market, because if you own a whole lot of assets, you own a whole lot of money, where are you going to stuff this money? I think Warren Buffett, as much as everyone thinks he's great, he has a whole bunch of cash. I can almost feel him wondering, what am I going to do with this stuff? Right, Joe? It's because I think he knows that he's got to be careful where he puts this money. You know, hey, he can stick it in some stock that goes berserk, but when it comes back down dramatically, he doesn't want to be holding that bag, right?
Yeah, and he buys a lot of treasury, very short-term treasury buyer. Those yields have been coming down. I also want to point out and we talked about this the other day, the need for more and more players to be diversified that typically never thought of being diversified. We get central banks, right? Okay, that kind of makes sense. And especially right now, they finally gave in. Gold's a tier 1 asset. And it's really a highly liquid tier 1 asset, which means that's the best, right? There's nothing better than that in the eyes of the banking industry. So we understood that. But then we started talking about how sovereign wealth funds, hedge funds, pension funds have all recently started buying and diversifying into gold and silver, something that they typically had never done. And then we talked about stable coins, the Genius Act, and how the reason for the big push into digital currency. Listen, ultimately, anybody out there that says that the Fed and the government isn't going to have a central bank digital currency or a central government digital currency, you're insane. You're absolutely insane. Right? Remember how many times they told us when Ben Bernanke, Janet Yellen was at the Fed, no, we're not doing anything with digital currencies. No, gosh, no, we're not. This is like tulips and right? And then, of course, we find out later how many meetings they were having, right? How many times they were bringing these people in, having people from MIT come in and all this other stuff. And now, all of a sudden, hey, we love the stable coins anyway. Why? Because they're going to buy treasuries. Well, who's like the biggest player around in that industry? Tether, right? Everyone's heard of Tether, right? Why Tether? Kind of cute name. What's it tether to? The dollar. Well, guess what they just announced? The world's largest issuer of stablecoins is in discussion with mining and investment groups to deploy billions of dollars into gold. What? Well, I thought Bitcoin was digital gold. Apparently, Tether's like, yeah, not really. And oh, by the way, if the government thinks all we're going to do is buy treasuries, they're mistaken. And Jason, even these guys are like, nope, we need to add gold to our portfolio because there's a good chance that if we only have treasuries, the losses could pile up, right? Especially if inflation's here and they're lowering the rates. I find it very, very interesting that Tether says that it is going to continue to increase their revenue streams into gold miners, and I think it won't be long. I wouldn't be surprised if they announce that they'll join it into silver as well in the future. But the largest stablecoin issuer has said that they already have 7.7 tons of gold, and they just announced they don't think that's nearly enough.
Well, that's good news. I mean, when you have somebody that's in another type of asset say, well, we're gonna put some of it here. You know, it sure seems like Tether's acting like a bank, doesn't it?
Well,
central bank.
Think about it, right? This is why the banks hate it, right? Because the banks know they're about done, right? Banks, as we know it, are going to come to an end. We don't need 18,000 banks in the 80s. We don't need 4,000 banks today. When digital currencies really come about, would we even need 50 or 100 banks, I think is the question. But again, why do I highlight this? Because, guys, they buy in amounts that are overwhelming. In silver, as an example, right now the worry is London is going to run out of physical silver in the next 6 months at the rate that it's being gobbled up. And we've talked about these issues with London, right? This is where the spot price is being set. And they have problems with gold. They have problems with silver. Nobody wants to leave their metals in London anymore. No one wants to leave their metals in New York anymore. And now the savior of the bond market, at least temporarily, stable coins, the largest one, just said, oh, by the way, yeah, don't worry, guys. We're not just buying treasury. We are going to spend billions of dollars getting into the gold markets. Listen, be your own stable coin. Be your own central bank. Be your own sovereign wealth fund. Be your own pension fund. Get your gold put away. Who puts it away? When you got a lot of money, you've done well. Are we telling you, sell all your stocks and buy gold? Nope. Never have said that. Would I have less exposure to Wall Street today? Yes. Just because it's artificially priced, right? Because they've pumped up so much money. Here's the thing, though, to Jason, it'll probably go higher. I've been saying that most of the year. Why? Well, they're going to get, right? They're going to get every last breath into the bubble they possibly can. It's going to be interesting what happens over the next 2 days. But I went through the vault, and we've had a lot of people trading gold for Texas, as we've told you guys. By the way, I got a big Texas announcement coming, really big. That's coming up here in a minute. But here's what I've got. So we recouped everything. We got Jason sent some more gold down to us. We got that into the inventory now. So here's what we've got. I've got 1420. So I thought we were done with them, but then Jason sent me more, went through it. I got 1420s. I don't have 15, 16, 17. I got 14, 36.50. So that's right now below spot. Well, not below spot, right?
Right at spot.
Spot is 36.41. So $9 over spot. I got 14 of those. The next three things, I only have one. First come, first serve. Right? First come, you get it. First, I'm calling it the half pack. There's 5 coins in this half pack. One is a mint state. Oh, there, I hear the break. We're going to talk about the 3 other specials that I have. Each one of them, you're going to save at least $1,000 per package. 800-951-0592, Patriot Radio News Hour. Joe and Jason on this Tuesday, talking about Tether now saying, hey, we got to get into the gold industry. Everybody's waiting on the inflation data. How high is it going to be? And essentially, no, we already know the playbook, right? The rate cuts are coming. How fast and how big is really the only question. Because of what is happening with Texit and big announcement coming there as well, we have an opportunity for all of you to capitalize and be able to put gold away well below what regular retail prices would normally be. So we have essentially the $14, $20 gold pieces at pretty much at spot, right? $36.50. Then I've got one half pack. This half pack has 5 coins in it. One is a Mint State 70 half-ounce American Gold Eagle. 2 are Mint State 69 half-ounce American Gold Eagles. One is a Mint State 62 $10 Indian. And the other is a Mint State 61 $10 Indian. So they're all graded essentially a half an ounce of gold in the coins. And it's just under a half ounce, but all of these graded. Graded half ounce, $9,000 gets you all 5 coins. That's a savings of over $1,000. So that's basically $200 a coin off. I've got one of those. Then I have one 10-pack. In this 10-pack, there are 6 ungraded $10 Liberties, 4 ungraded $10 Indians. You're going to save on the Liberties $130 a coin, or $780. On the Indians, you're going to save $115 a coin, or $620 for the 10 coins. $18,500, and you save $1,400 on the package. I've got one. So you're going to get 10 $10 pieces, 6 of them Liberties, 4 of them Indians, $18,500. And then I've got one 5-pack of graded $20 gold pieces. I've got one Mint State 61 $20 gold piece, one Mint State 62 $20 gold piece, one Mint State 62 $20 Saint, and 2 Mint State 63 $20 Saints. Those 5 pieces will run you $19,000. You're going to save over $1,100 there. So the 20s, $3,650. The half pack that's got the 5 graded $10 Indians and the 3 half-ounce graded American Gold Eagles at $9,000. I've got a 10-pack, ungraded 6 ungraded 10 libs and 4 ungraded 10 Indians at $18,500, and then my graded 20-pack at $19,500. You get 5 graded 20s. 2 of them, only one of those is a 61. 2 62s, 2 63s. $19,000 for those at $800. 951-0592. So, Jason, just a great opportunity to save thousands of dollars when looking at, holy cow, look at all the ETF demand. We didn't even talk about ETF demand. Insanity in the ETF markets, especially where right here in America, Jason, the big guys, they're going into gold because they know it, right? The question for gold right now is how soon to 4,000, and are we going to be at 5,000 before the end of next year?
Yeah, I mean, it really depends on economic woes. If something is dramatically happening, and geopolitical, it depends on what the emergency is. It'll accelerate. We could be past $5,000 next year. We could very easily be past $5,000 next year, but we could also be kind of sitting around 4, a little above 4, if things just kind of get boring, Joe. But it seems to me that if they're going to lower the rates and start cranking out the money machine, it's going to be hard not to see 5,000 next year at some point. We're getting along in the tooth on 2025. 5,000 this year doesn't look likely, but 4,000 sure looks likely, doesn't it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, last month, August, 53 metric tons of gold went into the ETFs. July was no slouch, 22 metric tons in July. North America continues to dominate. 37 metric tons in August went into the gold ETFs. And there's the World Gold Council said the biggest driver for gold last month, pretty simple. Growing expectations that the Federal Reserve would begin easing rates as the labor market showed signs of cooling faster than expected. And I'm going to say this, obviously, with the news today that essentially from March of 24 to March of 2025, they overreported jobs by over 911,000 jobs they say were created, Jason, that actually were never created.
That was going on a lot, wasn't it, last year and this year, where a couple of months later they adjust the numbers, and now I guess it took till now to adjust the whole year. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
We can't do it faster than that? You mean we can't get a real number any faster than that?
Thank you for that lagging information that's lagged on.
You're right. That does absolutely no good to anybody. By the way, Europe was second. I'm going to say, I think ETF demand in September, we could approach record. Not only because of what's happening here, you have France and Germany, the 2 biggest economies in the EU, both teetering because they want the people want more money than the government's able to give them. And then, of course, Japan, same problem there. We'll be back after the break. 9510592. Again, we've got $20 gold, $36.50. The 10-pack, which is the graded half-ounce pieces. You got those at $9,000. You get 5 graded, 2 graded Indians, a 61 and a 62. 3 graded half-ounce gold eagles. One's an MS-70, 2 are MS-69 at $9,000. We've got the 10-pack. That's 10 $10 pieces. 6 ungraded 10 libs, 4 ungraded 10 Indians. That's at $18,500. And then, of course, the 5 graded $20 gold pieces. 2 63s, 2 62s, and a 61 at $19,000 at 800-951-0592. Right now, gold's up $836.55. Silver just below $41 as the big jobs revision. But tomorrow will be big. Thursday will obviously be the biggest day. That's CPI. Tomorrow's PPI, CPI. Thursday, that's the inflation number for those of you that don't know, along with jobless claims. The question will be, is it 50 basis points or is it 25 basis points on the rate cut? And I think we'll get a real good idea this week of what that's going to look like. But in any event, we've been talking a lot, as you know, the need to be able to operate in a digital world. It's here. It's what money is going to be, whether we like it or not. And Texit is the one opportunity out there that really opens the field for all the little guys out there. Imagine being able to become a miner, get coins every night. That's unusual. Right? Most people are saying, hey, well, you can pay to get mining equipment, and then if you get lucky, you can get some coins. Right? But how do you get lucky? Well, you got to be able to win the award in front of the big guys that have warehouses full of servers. Well, how often does that happen? Not often. Right? Remember Bitcoin, some guy won one big, they threw a big article because they're like, oh my gosh, no one wins those awards except the big guys. But they tell you it's decentralized. It sounds good. You don't have to buy your own mining equipment. You don't have to maintain it. You don't have to pay the power. You don't have to do anything other than help us grow the mine. How do you help grow the mine? By buying mining seats. And by doing that, you get a piece of the roughly 95,000 coins a day that the Texit blockchain proof of work blockchain produces every single day. And when this mine is complete, it will be 100 million mega hash. Take my word, that is very big. We will be winning the rewards for Litecoin and Dogecoin to the tune of we'll probably win like 5% of all those awards every day, day in, day out. Those are two of the biggest cryptos going. Right? Doge is top 10 crypto. Litecoin's a top 20 crypto. On top of that, we have people lining up to build on top of the mine. And as things go, right, they're less and less generous with the hash power and the seats and all of that, but they've got a huge opportunity. And I don't know how long. I'm going to say for this week. I'm hoping for the rest of the month. I don't know. But here's the opportunity. Any new miner, they will allow you You can buy one seat at $9.95, right? We know that. The most you can spend, right? The most seats you can buy, 27 seats, right? 3 9-packs, as we like to call it. You get 6 seats for free on the 27-pack. It's $26,865. Anybody that is new, however many seats you buy, Texit will let you buy the same amount in the coins themselves. Okay, so you're saying I can buy $26,865 in mining shares, and then Texit will allow me to buy the same amount in Texit coin. Yes, well, why would I do that? Well, they'll give you a 10% bonus on top of the Texit coin reward. So I broke this down for you. We'll call it the 54 pack. Now remember, you can do this on any size. Whether you buy 1 seat, 9 seats, 27 seats, you don't, and you can buy $1,000 worth of Texit coin. You can buy 10,000. If you bought a 27 pack, it's up to you how much Texit coin you want to buy. Because a lot of people always say, well, gosh, I want some coins and I want some seats. I'm going to break it down for you right after this. Stay with us. 800-951-0592. The opportunity today, and it is a fantastic. Well, I'll just say this really fast. It has to be new. So if you signed up a month ago, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, no, you can't buy the Texit coins. If you're upgrading, that doesn't count either. You have to be brand new. Here's the deal. Not only will they allow you to buy up to the amount of Texit coin as the seats you've purchased, they're going to give you a 10% bonus on the Texit coins. So let's just use the 27 pack, right? That would be if you said, hey, give me the 54. I want the 27 seats, right, which is 33 shares because you can buy 9, get 2 free 3 times. But give me the Texit coin as well. You would get, with your 10% bonus, $29,551.50 worth of Texit coin for your $26,000 in change. At $3.15, which is where Texit is this second, that would be worth 9,381 coins, right? 3,981.43 coins. I believe that sometime this weekend, let's say the next 7 days, we are going to see a price of $3.75. And if I'm right, those coins that you got with the bonus, that $29,000 worth of $29,551 worth of coins, that, by the way, you only paid $26,865 for, would be worth $35,180. Like, literally, you'd make $9,000 in like a week just on the price move with the bonuses. But it doesn't. You don't have to do $53,730. You could do a 1-pack, $9.95, and then say, give me $995 worth of Texit coin. And Texit's going to say, great, here's a 10% bonus on the coins. And like I said, guys, I think we're going to see another 60 cents here in the next week or so. Jason, this is a great opportunity. So many people always say, well, gosh, I want both. I want to buy the coin and I want the mining shares. This is a very limited time offer. So just remember, however many seats you buy, you can buy up to that amount in Texit coin. You don't have to buy that. Let's just say you did a 9-pack, $80,955. You can buy $1,000 worth of Texit coin or $5,000 worth of Texit coin. You just can't buy more than $8,955, and they'll give you a 10% bonus on however many coins you buy. So, Jason, I think this is a strike now opportunity. Not only because A, you get a free 10%, and then B, the liquidity's at the point, Jason. I think we're going to see another 60-cent jump in the price in the next 7 days. This is a huge opportunity. Call us at 800-951-0592. Jason and I will come right back